Hello,
The song
everyone.
the
What?
song is the song was still playing for me whenever that came on.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Analog Allies, episode 15.
I don't know. I just don't know.
I think it's actually 14, but I had a thumbnail for 14 in my thumbnails, but we didn't go live last week. So,
It's 16. No, it's 15. It's 14.
yeah, because I had a thumbnail for 14, but we didn't go live last week.
So I got to change the title of this.
It's fine. It doesn't matter. I am your host, or one of your hosts, RGT85, joined as always by Brett. Brett, how are we
How's it
doing?
going? Doing good.
It's going well. It is going well for me. We're gonna start out with your topic though. Because obviously that is the hotter topic of the conversation. That is the big conversation that has been going on today. Um,
But before that, do you want to give an update to the chat on your stepdad?
Oh yeah, he's doing better. I didn't hear anything today besides what I talked about on today's video. He got like 8 hours of sleep last night for the first time. He's starting to feel sore, which sounds bad, but it's actually good because that means he's getting feeling in the left side of his body. Um, and all that stuff. Still a long way to go, but he's a bit more awake. Like whenever I talk to him on the phone, he sounds like he's like 30 wines in, and like he still knows what he's talking about, but he just sounds like exhausted, like almost out of breath. But supposedly today was a better day, so I'll get an update tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah, quick shout out. James Morrison said my guy Brett was sauced the last time. I was way more drunk than I thought it was. Whenever I watched it back, I was like cringing at myself. My
No, it
gosh.
was a good time.
It was fun. It was definitely fun. And yeah, J-Man, I'm absolutely pissed about the game share stuff. We should talk about is that one of yours?
Yeah, that's could be one of mine.
All right. All right. So you talk about Xbox?
Yeah, go ahead.
Xbox prices have gone up on hardware, games, and accessories. Pretty much all the consoles are going up $100, but the 2 terabyte Xbox Series X, I believe that one went up $80, right?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. So it's now $730 for an Xbox Series X with 2 terabytes specifically. And now the base model Series X went up from 500 to 600 5 years or almost 5 years after the console has launched. How do you feel about this, Sean?
You could sit there and say tariffs, economic conditions, and stuff like that. Or you could sit there and blame Nintendo for doing $80 on Mario Kart World, which just happens to be my video for tomorrow that's already filmed because I wanted to sleep in tomorrow. But what this really comes down to is, just craziness, man. Just craziness from the industry, craziness from the perspective of, you know, you're trying to get blood out of a stone almost at this point. At least with the Nintendo, for better or worse, you do have a dedicated fan base that you could shit in a box and they'll buy it. Xbox does not have that luxury. Not anymore. No. This isn't the Xbox 360 era where you're the top dog. You're low man on the totem pole. You're selling some games on PlayStation. You're doing very well as a publisher, but nobody's buying your hardware. And now you're asking more money for your hardware. And the prices have already gone up. GameStop already adjusted their prices for the systems and stuff like that. Now you're introducing the $80 games. The industry is going down a very slippery slope, and you could blame economic conditions, you could blame tariffs and stuff like that. But at some point in time, you have to realize that these are just fallbacks that these companies could use. Because if it was a case of that, then do you honestly think that the prices are going to come back down when the tariffs get resolved or whatever ends up happening happens? No, they're never going to go back down. They never
Nope.
have gone back down, and they're not going to. So, you know, it's I wouldn't say it's like taking advantage, but it's trying to. I don't know. What do you think about it?
I feel like they knew this was a good time to do this because they know that they won't be the ones blamed for it. And I could be totally wrong. It could be all about tariffs, but as you said, the tariffs most likely aren't going to last for a long time. And they're going to raise the prices right now because they know people will point their fingers everywhere other than Xbox. Well, that's not really true, but a lot of people will. And like you said, the prices aren't going to go down. Like, that's the worst part. This is now the base price for these consoles that are now old. Like, could you imagine if the Wii came out at, what was it, $150, and then 5 years later it was $250?
No, they
Like,
made it. They made the $100 one, the Wii Mini, or was it 79 or 100?
I think that one was 79, which is crazy. But it didn't have internet. It was weird.
It didn't have GameCube support either.
But yeah, it just kind of sucks. And yeah, the prices aren't going to go back down. And I'm assuming Game Pass is probably going to go up as well. So that's going to suck too.
Oh yeah,
Not,
that's a whole nother thing. People saying, "Oh well, now they're just trying to push Game Pass." The thing that stagnated, the thing that Call of Duty bumped up 1%. That was the big game, and it went up 1%.
that's crazy, dude.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's weird. It's such a good deal. I don't know why more people don't utilize it, but Xbox hardware is not that popular, and people on PC like Steam, so it kind of makes sense.
It's a very interesting situation, and people want to blame Nintendo. People want to, um, say, oh well, now PlayStation, they're the consumer. Get
I
the
mean,
fuck over
it's
that.
coming.
It's
It's
coming.
coming. They
That
already
that
raised the price in other countries. They just haven't
right,
done the US yet.
right. So, it's a situation where I see. This is a good comment. It's all about opportunity. Just when companies laid people off during COVID and never brought them back. Exactly. And you still have COVID related thinking when it comes to business models that, the video game sales. Look at our sales for this year. Our sales are so high. They're going to keep going up. This is sustainable. And it's like, at what point in time do you not realize that you overinflated these companies? You overinflated game budgets. You look at PlayStation. People have not adopted the $70 game price. Look at PlayStation 5 game sales. And like, the only game, at least according to the data that we have, that has over 10 million sales on 71 million consoles is Spider-Man 2. A lot of those games, think of how many games got sent to the $70 graveyard. Your Forspoken, your Gothams, your Suicide Squads. What happened? Were those companies happy with that? Like, Raul Munez with $1.99. My favorite Nintendo YouTuber, the one and only Brett Medlock. Thank you for that, Raul.
Yeah, that's what I do.
It's just it's crazy. It's crazy. And I don't. It's not going to get any better. And I swear, if the people who do inflation. What about inflation? It has to be the stupidest thing to say, because the gaming industry was completely different in the 90s and the early 2000s. The gaming industry was not reliant on shareholders and stocks and stuff like that. The gaming industry was a small niche community. The gaming industry was something completely different than the behemoth that it's become now. Plus, you have the fact that your cost of living was different back then. I looked at my first apartment before I made my video yesterday, or today for tomorrow. I looked up the price of my first apartment. It was $500 when I moved in there almost 20 years ago. It probably was 20 years ago. Guess how much it is now?
2,000.
$1,500.
Okay.
But that's 3 times the price. I'm asking the chat, have your wages, if you've been at the same job or doing the same sort of thing for 20 years, have your wages gone up 3 times the amount?
No. Most people no.
The average person now.
Yeah, dude, my apartment in 2011 was $540. So that's like yours was 500 20 years ago. Mine was 540 14 years ago. And then from 2011 to now, the prices went way up in the last decade. It's crazy.
Yeah. Hold on one second.
You're responding to me, aren't you?
Oh
God.
You know,
I'll be right back.
it's just, that's fine. It's, you know, it's absolutely craziness, and people want to jump through hoops, and they want to, you know, say this, that, or the other. But we're talking about, you know, Nintendo. You're talking about a company that pocketed $4 billion in revenue. $4 billion in revenue. And you know, it's crazy to see this. Xbox, I mean, you always hear Xbox, all these companies are in the greens, you know. All these companies are not hurting for money. All these companies are profitable companies, but they're trying to get blood out of the stone at this point, because you haven't been able, it's never enough for people. I'm in the trades, I'm a journeyman, so yes, my wages have tripled. Well, that's good. I'm glad, Gingerbread Tiger Woods, but the average person, you know, it hasn't been that way. Sorry, Brett's kid is going to the bathroom or something. But the average person, you know, it's and when you take into account the cost, I mean, yes, things have gone down, like computers and stuff like that. A lot of technology, TVs and stuff, sure, they've gone down in price, but you're also replacing TVs. It seems like a bit like CRT, that thing could last you forever. A flat screen, not quite the same. Cars were cheaper. Housing was cheaper. Your bills were cheaper. Your groceries were cheaper. Your gas was cheaper. So yes, you might, when you take into account inflation, you could say, oh, this, that, and the other. But the problem is that your dollar got you further. Your dollar got you a lot further than it does now. RTX Sock 32 with $1.99. Brett Medlock is my favorite Nintendo YouTuber. Well, thank you,
God.
RTX. Yeah. Okay. My first flat screen was I want to say it was 15 inches, and it was $400. And it was a store demo unit that I had gotten from Best Buy, because I had a Best Buy credit card and I had component cables for my Xbox 360, and I wanted to play Call of Duty 2 with the component cables. That was like, I thought that was going to be super cool. But you know, it was you know, stuff, TVs were a hell of a lot more expensive. So, you know, the cost of things has gone down for some things, but if everything else around it is going up, and then these companies, like, are you going to eat food, or are you going to fucking eat, I mean, not eat a video game. Are you going to eat food, or are you going to buy a video game? Are you going to keep your lights on, or are you going to buy a video game? Like, come on, man. Come on, man.
So how much do you think the PS5 Pro is going to be whenever they write, like whenever price goes up?
$850.
$850. That would, after tax, it's like $900.
That's probably more than that.
Jeez.
What's tax? 7%?
Something like that. Doesn't it depend on the state or something? I don't know.
Sales tax calculator. Let's just say 850, 918.
Oh
Would
my
be
God.
roughly the price.
Nearly 1,000.
And it does vary by state. You'd have to go. You go to Delaware. You can go to Florida, Texas, to get one of those. But yeah, man, it's now I don't look so crazy for saying that you're probably gonna be in. There's gonna be a gaming crash of sorts because this is not sustainable. These prices are not sustainable. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna go back to an era where video games become more niche because you're going to drive people out of wanting, or you're going to drive people out of being able to afford stuff, and nobody's buying an Xbox anyway, so why am I going to pay for it for more money?
Yeah, it's crazy to raise the price like right before GTA 6, which would probably sell a lot of Xboxes, like people who still haven't gotten a PS5 or an Xbox.
Just Mark with $1.99. Xbox needs cheaper developments. Just saying. All these companies do. All these companies do. These companies are like, realistically speaking, and I know we've talked about this before. There are certain games from like the PS3 era that I'm like, you know what? This is as good as a game really needs to look. This is as good as I need a game to look.
I remember thinking that back then, but I don't know.
Resident Evil Revelations HD.
What about it?
Resident Evil Revelations HD. Don't you think that's a good enough looking game?
I mean, yeah. Well, like graphics aren't really that important. I'm just saying, like every time I see something that looks amazing, I'm like, damn, like that really pushed things forward. But at the end of the day, it's not that
nothing
important.
is pushing things forward anymore.
Not really anymore. No, just I mean more so from the jump from PS3 to PS4. That was a pretty big leap.
Redsin with the $5. Growth for the sake of getting is cancer, but the profits and stock price must go up. Yes, you're right. It's growth because we want growth. Nobody is satisfied. Nobody is happy. But Liza Phil, you know that's going to change. You know that's going to change, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
And you can, but it's okay because they have their little safety blanket. Oh, economic conditions.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like they don't have to take all the hate because they can point it at what's going on in the economy.
And
But
I don't, I just think it's going to price a lot of people out of things. And you're going to see less consoles sold, you're going to see less games sold, you're going to see more closures, more layoffs. It'll
more
eventually,
kids playing on their stupid iPads.
yeah, because you could still get those cheap games, those free games on the iPad and stuff like that. And of course, now they're being stronger, but iPads are going to go up in price too.
Yeah,
iPads, Android tablets, a lot of your electronics are going to go up in price. PC, same thing. But see, that's the problem, Alex. I've been waiting for that for 39 years. And I have been through so many alleged WW3s, and they've never come to fruition. And it's honestly disappointing. Like, let's get it moving here. Yeah, GPUs, like the price of GPUs is crazy.
Yeah, PC's been feeling this for a while now.
Yeah.
But now it's finally hitting consoles. Are you surprised now that Nintendo kept the Switch hardware at the same price and just raised the accessories?
No, because they left the door open.
So you think it could go up in price?
100%. They said for now. They said for now with games and everything.
Like right before Christmas, they'll change it to like 500 for the base model, 550 for the bundle.
I know that, Metro, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on a stream. I'm sorry. What did you say? I kind of zoned out.
I was just saying, do you think that before Christmas, Nintendo will raise the base Switch to 500, and then wait, what's the price again? Yeah, the base to 500, and then the bundle to 550.
The bundle's gone. What are you talking about? Bundle's only until fall 2025, partner.
Well, I mean, they're bound to do another bundle for Christmas.
Are they?
I don't know, maybe not. Well, they
Are
typically
they?
did. They
If that's
bundled.
if that's the case, why are they only doing it till the fall? The system comes out in June. You can run that all the way through 2025.
Yeah, but do you remember how many years in a row they did Mario Kart 8 bundle? Didn't they do it like every year?
That was different. That's a different world, a different state of video games, this, that, or the other. There will not be any bundles this holiday season.
All right, you heard it here first.
Fact. If that was the case, that Mario Kart World bundle will be would be going on longer. And see, even Black Friday, because I think you do Black Friday as the cutoff for it. That's technically fall in retail. I think. Let me say. What is fall in retail? Seasonal shit. Give me a time frame.
Sean Stormmage said you're both stoned as fuck.
I'm not stoned.
I'm not. I'm just tired.
Gingerbread Tiger Woods gifting and membership, and Stormmage got it. Yeah, they could do a Donkey Kong Bonanza bundle. Gifting another. Thank you, Gingerbread Tiger Woods. They could do a Donkey Kong bundle, but I only think they do a Donkey Kong bundle if they need the game to sell more. Like I don't think they're going to go out of their way to do something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they might not do a bundle this year, but next year they probably will.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about next year. We're talking about this year, pal.
We'll see.
No, there is no we'll see.
All right.
I believe that there will not be a bundle this year. But definitely surprising news. Now you kind of just got to sit back and wait for PlayStation. Because damn well they're going to. Damn well. And I would not be surprised if Yotai even gets, because that's just not coming out till when? October?
I can't remember. I think they just announced the date out of nowhere. I think it was October.
Release date.
October 2nd.
October 2nd. So you got between now and October 2nd. You honestly think they're going to stick with that 70? If they do, I would almost be concerned about how long the game is. Gingerbread Tiger Woods, member for 2 months. With 8 gigs of VRAM not being enough for modern gaming, even at 1080p, do you think the next consoles will have 12 or 16 gigs of RAM or less? I think it depends on what the next generation of consoles are, because you are under the assumption that the next console is going to be a standard at-home box. And I'm not quite sure we're going to see that. I think you're going to see a digital only thing. You're going to see the true death of physical media. And then you're also going to see the true death of your dollar going further, because everything will be regulated to the PlayStation Store, the Xbox Store, or the Nintendo eShop. And then, and only then, will you really see the fuckery begin. Because everyone likes to point, Steam. Oh, it's Steam. Look at Steam. Steam has all these sales. This is not Steam. I don't know how many fucking times we have to say it, but PC gaming and console gaming are two separate things. They're separate for a reason. You could say it's like Plessy versus Ferguson, separate but equal, but they are two different things. And whatever PC gaming is doing, console gaming is not doing the exact same thing. What console gaming is doing, PC gaming is not doing the exact same thing.
Same can be said for the mobile side of things. They're all very different.
Nobody cares about mobile.
I mean, I'm just saying they're all a lot different than each other.
All right, our next topic is another topic that you're going to talk about. The digital digital game cards for Nintendo Switch 2 went live, and firmware 20.0.0 caused a little bit of chaos. Things were not exactly as Nintendo had alluded to them being, and this would before we get into that, Neil Pate or Pate $4.99. I wish Brett would kiss and make love to me off screen. I mean, if you get a spot on his couch,
Yeah, head on over.
Rover. But yeah, it was supposed to.
Thanks for that, by the way.
Thank you. It was supposed to work similar, and it seems that there were some caveats. So, Brett, if you want to talk about this, because you experienced some of these caveats already.
Yeah, so I kept hearing that you could, if you wanted to, not opt in to their new little thing that they're doing. Like that you could still stick to the old way. Like that's what some people were posting on Twitter and stuff. And I was like, okay, I won't be too worried if they're saying that you can still just have a primary home console and then that's it and you're good and then you can play your games elsewhere like as well. But that's not how it is. There's no options. And the new digital stuff just seems so convoluted and annoying. And the worst part, so I game share with my friend Brett. That's a different Brett. He lives in a different state. So we, through the internet, originally I logged into his account on my Switch, made it the primary. He logged into my account on his Switch, made it his primary. We could buy one game, both play it on both accounts anytime we wanted at the same time. If it was a multiplayer game, we could play it with each other. All of that is gone now. Now, you can't play the game at the same time. You can't play together at all, definitely, because you can't play it at the same time. And because we live in two different states, we can't even connect them so that there is one primary on both of them. Like we can still do the same thing, but we literally have to mail a Switch to the other person, then set it up, then mail it back because they made it so you can't do it over the internet, which seems like a big step back because you could before. And now it's like you have to be next to this person in real life if you want to do this. And yeah, it's just really, really annoying. And that's just half of it because I have kids, obviously, they both have Switches. And before, I could buy one game and they could just play it on my account on their Switch. Or I could buy a game on Cole's account. And then since they did the same thing, they game shared like me and Brett do. I buy one copy of a game, they both get to play it. They can play at the same time. They can play with each other. No problem. Now all of that is gone, dude. All of it's gone, and it's really annoying.
Neil Pate with another $1.99. If Brett's inviting, just know I tested negative. See?
There we go.
You're good. Now Storm Mage, unfortunately, you are incorrect on that. Because, and yes, Brett is a broke person. Nintendo, because like Fairbanks said, Nintendo Prime even jumped off Nintendo's dick for a minute with this. It was literally, they told you how to do these things.
Yeah, it was a thing. Like, it wasn't illegal.
Yeah, this was literally a thing that they might not have promoted, but they told you it was not a loophole, Josh. Once again, it's not a loophole if the company tells you how to do it on their website, on their FAQ. It's not a loophole. This is something that you could do.
Yeah. It wasn't illegal. It wasn't a loophole. It's just something that was possible. And it was really cool, actually. And now it's just gone. And that's really lame, in my opinion.
And it's something that, it's something that, if you're going to take away something, you should be telling people. You should let them know. Don't say it's going to be the same. I mean, they hit it well, but it was literally on their website.
PlayStation and Xbox do the same thing. They're not promoting it, but it is a thing. I game share on PlayStation and Xbox as well with the same person. It works the exact same way as Switch. They all did the same thing.
Right.
Now I'm scared that the others are going to follow Nintendo.
And this is what I said. This is why have kids. They cost money. They smell.
Yep, that's true.
Like, I didn't know this was a thing because I'm not loaning anyone anything. You could buy something off of me. I'm not letting you borrow something. That's ridiculous.
It is kind of crazy to think that if I wanted to, I could give my login to you, to Brett, to both my kids, to 3 other friends, and all of us could play Tears of the Kingdom with one purchase, just with my name logged in, and you'd have to play on my account to do it that way. And that's not the game sharing way. That's just logging into your account and having access to the games you bought. That is still possible as well. That was possible. That makes more sense to me, like getting rid of that. But getting rid of game sharing with just 2 accounts seems very Nintendo now that it happened.
And it's a weird thing, you know? No kids. How are you? Okay, that's it.
It wasn't illegal.
I'm going to bring up the literal fucking website. Now I got to look at Nintendo Prime's Twitter, which I try not to do too often. Not scrolling. God, he shared
Roger's comment. It's funny.
This man posts a lot. Jesus Christ, man. I say like 2 things a day unless there's a Knicks game. Oh, here it is. Here's the picture. Present. Share screen.
Read it for the audio listeners.
How to play the same digital game at the same time with different Nintendo accounts. If you want to play your game at the same time, someone else also plays it. Make sure you're playing on a system that is not the primary console for a Nintendo account. You have active internet connection on that system. The other person must play on the primary console for your Nintendo account. They literally told you how to do it.
And yeah, I've been doing it for 7 years since the Switch came out, however long ago that was.
I mean, you don't have to believe me, Storm Mage. I just showed you the proof. Neil Pate with a $4.99. So many see Nintendo as the good guy. Boo-hoo, they're not. And we're not seeing these prices go down. Hell no, you're not seeing prices go down. And Nintendo is a business. You know, they've always been a business. They are a bit more personal because they have personalities, you know, that you see a bit more often. But at the end of the day, like, they want to make money. They want to make as much money as possible. If that wasn't the case, you know, the company that made $4 billion in net revenue, net profit, that put $4 billion in their pocket last year would not be charging you $80 for a game.
Metro, can I still play my digital games on my Lite without setting it to primary? I have yet to try. You'll be able to link your 2 Switches, and you can load the game on that Switch Lite as long as you're connected to the internet. And then if you disconnect from the internet, but the game is loaded in, like the digital cartridge, the new thing, you can play it without internet. It just has to be loaded into it. It's really weird.
Are you saying it's not the law that you have to abide by, or you're saying that Nintendo's TOS is not the law on their own system?
I think he's been debating with Metro.
Oh, okay. But yeah, you know, it's a sign of the times.
The worst part, though, for me is because my primary was on Brett's Switch whenever this whole new thing started. Like, we updated our Switches. I don't have access to any of my games, and I cannot get access to them until he ships me his Switch physically and I link the 2.
You can't do a cloud thing or anything?
No, you can't do anything. I could restart. I could like delete it all, like undo all of it and say like I lost or the Switch is broken or something. But that's dumb because I want access to my games and I want him to access to my games. So we're gonna do the whole shipping Switch thing. When Switch 2 comes out, I'm gonna ship him my Switch and we're gonna link them. And we'll still be able to do what we did before. We're gonna game share. We just won't be able to play them at the same time, which was rare anyway. So it'll all still work out. Like it's not the biggest deal in the world, especially after like years. But right now, it's annoying, you know.
Or who's paying shipping?
We'll probably split it.
That's not bad. Pickle Rick, member for 9 months. Do you think we'll either we'll see either Geist or Simpsons Hit and Run or Road Rage come to the GameCube NSO app. I say Geist 100% because Geist was the first party game done by N-Space. Simpsons probably not. I feel like because that's a prime game. Both of those games, honestly, are prime games for re-releases. And think of how long it took to get Simpsons Arcade, and then they took it away off of Xbox Live and PS3, and then you finally got one, the arcade one-up, but those are classified as toys, which is something that I've actually misspoke on before in the past that I've corrected myself. I thought they were considered electronics. Those are actually considered toys, so the licensing is different than it would be for an electronic.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Anything else on the Switch stuff that didn't really affect you at all?
No, not really. It didn't affect me. I haven't updated my Switch 1 to firmware 20. I will say I find it very funny how the misinformation bandits are running with misinformation about the themes. So did you see like paid themes or something like that?
I saw that like people were talking about it, but I didn't really read into it.
Yeah, it was from an account that knows absolutely nothing, and their source was just like random word salad with no actual source to it, but everyone ran with it. But it's like, so good misinformation is good, but bad misinformation is bad. Like I would think all misinformation is a problem. Neil Pate with another $4.99. I remember when everyone said it's just Mario Kart $80. Now look at Xbox. Yeah, but I think it's a little different because Nintendo knows that Mario Kart will sell. You can't really say the same thing about any
Call of Duty.
You think that's going to sell well at 80? You think it's going to sell as much as it does at 70?
I think it depends on which one it is. What's next? Modern Warfare? I don't
fucking know what they're on. I'm honestly, that's going to be my topic that we're going to talk about here. This whole I turned on first off, they got rid of my playlist. My playlist was Chaos Nuketown because the matches would last longer. And that's what I would do, like my walk workouts with. I'd do like a couple miles while playing a couple of those. God, these beef jerky farts are killing me.
Jesus.
And they got rid of that today, and everything is just weed. It's just weed. Oh, now it's Baked Town instead of Nuke Town. It's got an aesthetic of like an LSD trip, and it's like, this is not weed is not gonna fucking make you see like different colors and shit like that. Like the skies are gonna turn purple just based off of weed. Like, have you ever actually smoked weed? Seth Rogen is in the game now. It's like, who the fuck thinks this is like cool or funny? Yes, it is pepper jerky. Like, who the fuck finds this shit funny? Who finds this shit like, wow, this is so cool?
It must be selling, dude. But every time I see something new in Call of Duty that's like a character, it's always the weirdest choices.
What, you know, like Jay and Silent Bob?
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like, it's so strange. Like, it doesn't match the aesthetic of the aesthetic of Call of Duty looks insane now, but the old aesthetic of Call of Duty, it does not match. And a lot of people see that and they are very turned off, but I guess the kids love it.
Do they? Should you be promoting drugs to kids?
I mean, I don't know.
It's just, it's so fucking corny to me.
It's an M-rated game, but it's probably a lot of kids that play it, but
like, oh, Blunt Man and Crime. Like, dude, who the fuck in 2025 is like, wow, Jay and Silent Bob? Like 20 years ago, maybe. 20 years ago, maybe it was kind of cool. I enjoyed the film. Strike Back is a good film.
Great film.
But like, come on, man. This shit is fucking ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
This shit is. You look like a bunch of children. Like, oh, I'm gonna put this weed fucking thing here. I'm gonna put this weed, this little weed plant here. That's fucking cool. It's like, come on, dude. Come on. Yeah, it's not taboo anymore. That's the problem. It was cool and it was taboo. That's when I did it. It was
It was
taboo.
cool back in my day.
It was cool back in my day. Now it's just everyone. You can go to a dispensary. You don't even get arrested for it anymore. Like, it's weed. Who cares? Like, come on, man. You gotta move on. My favorite Call of Duty is the original Modern Warfare. I had gold guns on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and even the Wii.
My favorite Call of Duties would be controversial. I'm scared to say them.
World at War?
No, my favorite multiplayer probably goes to Advanced Warfare or Black Ops 3 because that's when they started doing crazy movement and wall running. And then my favorite campaign is Infinite Warfare, which everybody hated.
I don't play campaigns.
Oh.
Pickle Rick with the $2. They're re-releasing Dogma for its 25th anniversary. Like, okay, cool. I don't need that in fucking Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels very out of place. And I always like killing people who have Jay or Silent Bob characters. Because I'm like, what is wrong with you? But then again, I have a foot soldier, so
Modern Weed Fair.
Modern Weed Fair. Not wrong. All right, Brett, you want to talk about a certain game?
Clair Obscur. Have you played it?
No.
Oh, man.
It's on Game Pass. Why haven't you played it yet? I have been busy, bro.
I'm still fairly early. Like, I'm still in Act 1 or Chapter 1, whatever it's called. But it starts off super interesting, dude. The world immediately captures you. I don't really want to say any spoilers, but do you know the premise of the story at all?
No.
So there's this thing out on an island, like a mysterious woman called the Paintress, and every year she gives a number, and whoever is older than that number that she gives, they all die. They get snapped, like basically Thanos snapped away. And the year that happens at the beginning of the game is 34, and you are in Expedition 33. And once you get older in this world, you venture out to that island to try and stop the Paintress from doing it because you're going to die soon anyway. You might as well go try and put an end to it. So all the 33-year-olds, they all head out, and shit fucking hits the fan on the island. I don't want to say any spoilers, like I said, but the second that you get to the island, I immediately thought, okay, this would actually make a really good TV show. I don't typically say that about video games, but really awesome. But dude, the combat, that's the highlight of the game for me. It is balanced so well, and it's so satisfying whenever you start to learn patterns of enemies because it's turn-based, but it's action turn-based like Paper Mario and stuff like that. Like you're actually doing things during the combat and not just pressing and watching. And you can block, you can parry, you can dodge, and then you can even jump. And when you jump and dodge, you can even like shoot your gun while you're in the air and you do extra damage. And the way they implement all of this, like you'll be starting a battle, and when you first start it, you do like one of your strongest attacks, and you see like his life barely goes down, and you're like, well, how the hell am I going to beat this? But by the end of it, once you start pairing all their attacks and you learn their rhythms and all that, you're taking down just more and more health. And then sooner or later, if you do a lot of pairing and dodging and stuff, you gain up a bunch of AP, and then you can use your really good attacks that take like all your AP away, but they do major damage. So again, once you start the battle, you're thinking this is impossible, but by the end of it, you're just barely making about, at least for me, like I think it's balanced so well because like lots of the fights are really intense because I'm like really close to death, but I just make it out alive, and it's like the most satisfying loop of combat that I've experienced in a while. It reminds me of the first time I played Final Fantasy VII Remake. I really loved how that combat was action, but it also felt turn-based because of how much you're pausing it and changing characters and changing abilities. And yeah, just really, really good. And Charlie Cox is in it. He plays Daredevil, which I love.
I don't know who the fuck Charlie Cox is.
Come on.
Is this true? Countering and parrying? Now, because I've actually heard things about the parrying. It's a little late is when you parry, as opposed to a little early, like you see in a lot of games.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. You do have to do it really close to whenever he's like super close to you, like the enemies. But I don't know. I haven't noticed that much of it, like being late or early.
It's like a 35-hour game, I believe.
Yeah, apparently it's pretty jam packed, and it's only $50. Which, dude, when I played this game when I first started, I was like, this does not look like it'd be a $50 game. The presentation is super good. The face animations are good. The music, the cutscenes. There's even sometimes the cutscenes go on for a while, and they literally look like Square Enix quality with like the latest Final Fantasies. Like, it's crazy.
Do I even like the turtles? The fuck, dude! I got a fucking wall of Ninja Turtles figures over there. Like
The one thing that's extremely jarring to me, though, do you know who Robert Pattinson is, the actor?
yeah, Batman.
Yeah. Dude, the main character to me looks just like him. And when the game was first revealed, I thought he was in a game. Like, I was like, oh wow, they got Robert Pattinson. But it's not. It's just the character model. It looks like it was literally they just stole his face and put it on the character, but with Charlie Cox's voice. And it's just a little jarring, but it's just kind of funny.
How many does he have?
Who?
Charlie.
Charlie Cox's?
Yeah. How
Like
many Cox?
6.
Sold 1 million copies in 3 days. Yeah. And I mean, that's, that kind of goes because they had like 30 people work on that game or something like that.
Well, the main studio has 30 people, but I've heard since then that they had a lot of support help. So.
But even so, I mean, the budget for that game, that's probably a game that's almost a throwback game to where you sell $1 million and you're like, fuck, we made some. Yeah, you're fine. We made some money. And that's an era of games where it's like, that's almost 90s related. And you can see, hopefully this can kind of like just make a good fucking game. 1 million people bought crack today. It doesn't make it good. It does make it good for those people. Those people love crack.
Sean,
what?
You want to see why you shouldn't have kids?
Why?
Look what just happened.
He broke your phone or tablet? Or he broke
his tablet. Yeah, look at that.
Fuck. I'll be the stepdad, I'll come over.
Crazy.
Sup, little dude. All right. Go play with your toys. But yeah. I think, hopefully there's more games that are successes like that, because that's outselling some AAA games at the $70 price point. Forspoken, shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
Dude, that literally just happened, by the way. That screen. I'm kind of heated right now.
But let it out. Let it out. It's fine.
God.
That was good.
Anyway.
I was more energetic over the next game than the screen. I try to eat my microphone.
Jesus.
So my final topic, I guess I just kind of want to talk about what your thoughts are on the digital game cards, and most of the third-party games being digital game cards, not on the cartridge. There's only a couple that are actually on the cartridge. And it seems like some of that is because of the fact that potentially we only have one cartridge size that's being used here, at least one that is confirmed, that being the 64 gigabyte cartridge. And from what I've heard, no one has heard otherwise. People like to theorize that there's going to be other cartridge sizes, but every game that we've seen so far is a 64 gigabyte cartridge.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Like, is it just because they don't want to pay for the more expensive cartridge and they're like, no one's gonna really care, so they just put it?
Well, yeah, I mean, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S is 4 gigs, and that's
it's using. Oh my
card.
God.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But what sucks is one thing that a lot of physical buyers didn't have to worry about on Switch 1 was it taking up all the storage on the Switch. Like, now when you buy a game, like let's say Call of Duty comes out later this year and it's a digital game card, it's going to be freaking ginormous. It's going to take up like a huge portion of the Switch's internal storage even if you buy it physically. Like, it's
Well,
gonna
there. I mean, there
disappear so fast.
technically is no physical for it. You're gonna have to get these. And I tried to tell people, I tried to tell you guys to go ahead and buy these when I paid $30 for them. Now you're paying a premium price. Let's take a look here. I might actually buy another because you never know when these are going to go up. Micro SD Express card. So are these Express? So there's a Lexar for $130. That's a terabyte. There's Extreme, but is that an Express? Like, I don't know what Extreme means
I don't know.
because
Can't remember.
most of these I don't think are what they need to be. Like Ultra and stuff like that. Like, I think it has to actually say Express card, and all of these are not Express cards on Amazon, that is. Now the Lexar, no, because even this Lexar one is just a standard. Is just a standard one. So no, I don't even think you can get them on Amazon. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Is that the SDXC Express card? XC, is that what XC means? Let me say.
I wish I knew.
Express. No, it has to say actually Express on it, I believe. So Amazon doesn't have any right now. Okay. So you can buy a SanDisk 128 for $50 off of Best Buy right now. But it doesn't even seem like there's that's only 100. Yeah, that's only 128 gigs. I got the 256 gig for less than that. I tried to tell you people. But yeah, this is going to be a resource hog. All this stuff is going to fill up the damn ProPlay is their version of SD Express. Okay. So Pro. Okay, so Play Pro. So you can get a 256 is going for $94 on eBay right now. That's crazy. That is crazy. Where to buy? Oh wait, so I can buy this on Amazon?
Dude, I'll
Oh
probably
no.
just be deleting games. I don't. I have a 1 terabyte in my Switch, and I don't know. It's
I
not
mean,
the right one for the Switch 2, so
I delete the fuck out of the Xbox games. Like, I'm down to like 4. It's like Oblivion, WWE, NBA, and COD now that are on my Xbox. That's like
I
all
have
I
a
have.
like one of those little expansion cards that they have that you put in the back of the Series X, and I
Those
don't
are
really have to worry.
expensive.
I got it when it was on like a really cheap sale. I
Those are
think it was like
too
$100
expensive.
or something.
I'm sure that went up in price, didn't it?
I don't know. I'm curious.
Let's take a gander here.
So it looks like
Oh,
it's normally 130. I think I got it for 100, which is only $30 off, but still.
this says you got 1 terabyte added or 512.
I got 1 terabyte added.
1 terabyte. Okay. What are you doing? God damn. Whatever. I'm not looking this. Oh, here. I'll look on Amazon.
Right now,
Xbox.
they don't look like they went up in price. They're 130 on Amazon. I think
Oh
that's
my
what they've been at.
god.
Oh wait, no, they're on sale right now. They're usually 160. So I did get a good deal.
No,
I got it
that's
for
a fake
100.
sale, I think.
Oh,
May 7th through 10th. No, that is. Hey, you got a decent deal. I'm not buying that though. That's ridiculous. I'll just delete shit. I don't
yeah,
care that much.
yeah. PlayStation Vita storage prices. Yeah, those are. I bought the
Yeah.
big one on that. I imported the one from Japan, like the biggest one. I can't remember what it was, but they didn't sell it in the U.S.
You think people are gonna start doing more emulating and retro stuff?
I hope so. That'd be great. Maybe they'll just stop making games and we can all just go back to the glory days, you know?
I don't know that you want to do that though.
I'm just kidding.
But I don't know. It's definitely, this is a very weird time for gaming. and I don't really know like how it's going to go. Like as far as, where we're going to be 5 years from now or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to get any better.
Nope. Josh is leaving. See you, Josh.
See you, Josh. Take a drink every time they say gaming. You could have came on.
Yeah. What are you doing, Celia?
If you want. Oh, she had to do work, I think she said. Any thoughts on more websites closing?
Oh yeah, Giant Bomb. Was it? I didn't see any other ones. What was the other ones?
Polygon got.
Oh yeah, I
out or
did
something.
see that. I forgot about that. Isn't Giant Bomb gonna be like an SEO farm for like guides now or something?
That's what they want to do. Yes,
that sounds about right. Just use ChatGPT, hire like 2 people that live in another country, hire them really cheap, and there you go.
You know about this?
Oh yeah. Can't talk about it though.
Thanks, Gary. Yeah, he's doing a bit better now, thankfully. But yeah, it's the industry is changing, and I don't think it's changing for the better. And I think you're going to start to see ramifications of that as time goes on, because if you think things are crazy now, they can get a lot crazier. I don't know if you haven't seen anything yet.
It's terrifying to work in this industry. Games, media, whether it be video, written, doesn't matter.
YouTube's fine though.
Well, yeah, like the singular YouTuber's fine.
We're doing good over here, but once again, I think a lot of that has to do because like some of those people made like really good money, and it's like I remember, when I was writing, I didn't make enough to live.
Dude, I mean, we can talk about how bad Enthusiast Gaming paid people. That was crazy.
What was the most you ever got?
When I worked at Enthusiast Gaming, I think the most I ever got was like $600 a month.
And
I worked like full time. I'm not even kidding.
I was up to $1,000.
Nice.
Yeah, I was up to $1,000. That was writing and doing videos. That was the highest that it was. And like the idea was always I could work my job and then still do that and then make enough money to live off of. But my channel started doing better. I was making more money than I was doing that. So I was like, fuck, I need to put my time and effort into things that, could potentially parlay into something bigger.
You made the right move, that's for sure.
It wasn't even my idea. It was Jason's. He told me to make my own channel.
So it's all your success is thanks to Jason.
No, because I had to do it. See, Gary, that's the thing though, because those retro prices aren't exactly quote unquote cheap right now.
It's all about emulation, though.
Yeah, but if you're where do your emulation devices come from?
Your phone, your laptop.
Now I'm talking about where do those come from? Where are those manufactured?
I mean, most people already have those, is what I'm saying.
Do they?
I think most people have a phone where they can play like anything before PS3 on it.
China.
See,
I don't even need all that because I have the Sega Nomad.
When you gonna send me one of those cool things, man?
This is literally a Sega Nomad. This is the coolest thing in the world with a Mega EverDrive Pro. And yes, it does have the Sega CD audio, which you can hear, which is a mod that you have to do. That's why this costs so much. You can't really see how good the screen is, but the screen is pretty fucking good. Yeah, whatever. Come on, focus.
It's not focusing.
Yeah, it's not focusing. Oh, look, you can see the screen. Look, you can see.
It's so funny how small the screen is compared to the device. Nowadays, like just the whole thing is the screen. Oh, it's
There
it
you
focused.
go.
There we go. Nice, glorious.
Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom. Yeah, I can play Sega CD games on this. So I need to put some games on here. Stone Age Gamer sent me the Mega EverDrive Pro. I'll have a video on this soonish, maybe even this weekend. But yeah, it plays really good. I think EverDrives are going to be very important and EverDrive adjacent things to you know, making retro more accessible. But I mean, you're still gonna have people that don't want to go back to things like that too.
Yeah. Goodbye, Storm Mage.
So
Head it off.
Edge. A Nomad can work with a 32X, but you actually have to plug in the 32X. So yeah, that's probably not gonna happen. All right, folks. We are going to move to the after show. I have posted the after show under the post section. So if you are a channel member, make sure you come hang out there. I want to give a huge thank you to Raul, RTX, Just Mark, Redson, Gingerbread Tiger Woods, Neil Pate, and Pickle Rick for your donations and stuff like that. We will be back next week, or you can see us on the after show. I have a few videos that I'm doing for this channel. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow. I'll have something up tomorrow on here because yeah, I don't expect anything to happen. You did a super chat but didn't see it. Oh, sorry. I got a 512 a gig at GameStop for $100 with my Switch 2. Okay, that's not
bad.
terrible. But you could have bought two of these. Would have cost you like 70. Should have got in on it. Try to give people the savings. Try to give people the inside information. All right, folks. We will see you over on the after show. Thank you all for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.